Hi, I'm Linda Mihara, and in today's class, I'm going to show you a very cool model. It's a moose by Fumiaki Kawahata, and it just requires one sheet of paper. So all you'll need is a 6-inch square of standard kami in brown because it's got white on the reverse, which makes the detail of the horn stand out. So go ahead, grab that, grab a creasing tool also, and let's go ahead and get started. So for this class, I'm going to fold from a 10-inch by 10-inch square. So we want to begin with the back side of the paper face upward. This is the color that you want the antlers to be. And we're going to go ahead and divide it in half. So let's go ahead and do that. My trick here is to kind of lightly hold it in place with your left hand as you're using your right hand to guide. So once you have the corners lined up and then the top edge is lined up, that means that this should be accurate. Then you're going to pull straight down the middle and work from the middle on out. It's the best way to do your first initial folds because it prevents that shift from happening if you go from right to left or left to right. And after that's in place, let's go ahead and use our creasing tool. And then let's go ahead and open that up. And let's fold the other half. So we're going to go ahead and bring that over and make sure it's all lined up. And then again, start from the middle and work your way out. And finish with the creasing tool like this and open it up. And so the next step is we're going to take these two top corners and bring it right to the center. So let's do one here and put that fold in place. Let's bring the other corner down and bring that in place. And I'm just going to adjust a little bit so that I'm right there in the middle. And so once that's in place, let's go ahead and follow with the creasing tool like this. Next step is to take these flaps. You're just going to imagine that they're the front flaps of a tent. We're going to peel them open and fold the raw edge to the folded edge here. So that means we're going to take this and bring it over to meet the outer edge. And when you're dealing with one where it comes to a point like this, if you line up the paper and put a little pinch there, that holds it in place and then allows you to make sure that you have enough time to make the other part, the rest of the flap lined up there. And then once it's lined up, just go ahead and fold it. Same thing for the other side. So we're going to peel it open, make a little pinch once I have it in the right place, line it up, and then fold everything out. So then now we have this. And then let's follow with our creasing tool both ways. Okay. Now we're going to actually create rabbit ears from both of these flaps in here. And a rabbit ear maneuver requires some pre-folding to make it easy. So we're going to use this, take this raw edge and bring it to meet this folded edge here. And you want to make sure you pinch this and roll the paper. Otherwise, this might slide out. You want to make sure that these stay together. And then you're going to bring the paper over to the folded edge. Just like this. And the same for the other side. So we're taking this edge and we're bringing it to meet the folded edge on the outside. So that's what we should have. Follow with our creasing tool. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to unfold this flap here, and you're going to lift this open, and then you're going to refold this flap here, and you're going to continue by refolding the top part of that. And when they meet, they will meet here at the corner here. And then this part here, you want to pinch it together so that it bring the raw edges together and pinch it in place. And then once you're done, that flap, you want to flatten it forward like this. And so we're going to do the same thing for this side. So we're going to open this flap here. We're going to open this flap here. We're going to refold this flap here. Refold this flap here. They will meet here at the corner, and that makes this part stick out. And what you're going to do is make a mountain fold right to the middle. So you want to make sure that those raw edges are lined up here. Once you have that folded in place, it should flatten very nicely and point, and you want to direct it towards the top like this. And so that is your, those are your successful rabbit ears. And so the next step is to take this raw edge and bring it to meet the center crease. So let's go ahead and do that. You want to also make sure that these flaps don't unfold on you. So a good idea to hold those in place. Bring the edge over, and once it's lined up, go ahead and fold that in place. You want to be mindful of the bottom edge. That will ensure that you have a nice perpendicular fold here. And the same for the opposite side. So we're going to take this raw edge and bring that to meet the center. Being mindful of the bottom edge, make sure it's all lined up. Fold that in place, and then we're going to reinforce with our creasing tool like this. So now that we have this, let's turn it over to the other side, and we're going to work on this top part here. We're going to just peel open this top group of folds, and you're going to leave these flat. We're just going to take this and fold it down, and you're folding it at these points here. So this is going to fold down just like this. You will see a crease line here, which was marking the middle of the paper. So that point will go right to that middle. That's another way to check to see if this is accurate and even. Go ahead and make your crease, and then follow with your creasing tool, just like that. Now we're going to create another rabbit ear up in this area here. So that means we're going to do some pre-creasing. So let's take this edge here and bring it to meet the top edge like that. Make your crease, follow with your creasing tool, and then unfold that. Fold the other flap up, making sure it comes to a point out here, and it's lined up with that edge. Fold it across, make your crease, and then now we're going to open this point here, refold this, and when they come together and meet at this point, that's when this should automatically fold in half. And so let's go ahead and take that and swivel it off to the right. So it looks like this. And let's reinforce all the way around with our creasing tool. So now that we have that, let's turn it over to the other side so that you're looking at this. And now the next step is a really cool maneuver. You're going to take this point and you're going to gently pull it out, releasing the paper, and it'll end out like this. It's a really great step. Do the same for the other side. So you're going to pinch that, very gently pull it out, and you get this, which is fantastic. And let's reinforce all the way around with the creasing tool. So you have this. Now that you have that, let's fold the model in half like this. And what we want to do is bring this bottom corner up to where the antlers meet the body here. And we're going to, which is like this, we're going to fold that, use the creasing tool. We're going to unfold it and then turn it over and reinforce the other side like that. We unfold it and then we open the whole thing like this. You now have some creases that are at the bottom. There's this one, and there's this one. So what we're going to do is when we collapse this is first off, we want to make sure that this flap stays behind the antlers. So I want to give that a little crease. We're going to turn this fold line into a mountain fold. So let's go ahead and pinch that into a mountain fold. And then we're going to make this fold line into a valley fold. Let's go ahead and pinch this half and pinch this half. And then what happens is you're going to pinch this whole thing into a mountain fold. So we're going to pinch here and here, and make sure that that point doesn't come out. It's tucked in behind, and it should flatten just like this. So now let's take this top antler, and we're going to make a crease that goes from this corner to this corner. So we're going to lift this up, and you want to leave this little part unfolded. So you're just going to leave that there. We're just dealing with this top flap, and we're folding that in half, just like this. And let's follow with our creasing tool for good measure here. And we want to do the same thing for the other side. So let's flip it over to the other side. And we're going to take this flap and fold it all the way up. And once we do that, let's go ahead and use our creasing tool to reinforce like this. Now let's turn the model back over to this side here. And we need to do one detail up in here where the antler is. You will see that there is a folded edge that's right here. And what we want to do is create a valley fold, or excuse me, a mountain fold that goes from this point to this corner here. And the best way to do that is kind of in two parts. We're going to take this flap and we're going to open it up. It's basically you're unfolding that. And once you hit the halfway point here, now you can roll the paper forward until you get to that point here. Pinch it in place. And then when you refold this antler down, it will close it in place. And so from the top, you'll see that now it goes in. It goes in that way. And they both come to points there. Like that. And let's do the same for the other side. So let's turn him over. We're going to unfold the antler. We're going to lift up this flap and open it up all the way. And then you want to continue and make a fold that goes from the middle out to where the antler meets the body right here. And by doing that, what you want to do is kind of fold it forward by pinching it first. It's not going to lay flat until you take this flap and flatten it like this. So again, on the inside, this comes forward and then tucks in very nicely like this. So let's turn them over to the other side, and then we're going to work on the nose. So what we want to do here is pull this out like this. We want to make a little shape here. So what we want to do is take this point, and you see there's a little triangle here. We're going to fold the triangle in half. So let's take the point and fold it down to that corner. Reinforce with the creasing tool. Unfold it. And then from the top, you can open it up. And then we're going to take this point and fold it in using that fold line that we just created. So we're just going to tuck that in and then flatten. So now we have a nice nose to our moose, which is awesome. So now what we want to do is we want to make a fold that goes from, I would say, about halfway on this line here to this corner, and it's going to be a mountain fold, so it's going to tuck behind. But it'll make it easier if we do a pre-crease beforehand. So let's take this flap and fold it over, and it's just past this edge here. Just past that, and then we're going to make a fold so it looks like this. And definitely you want to use your creasing tool through all layers. We're going to unfold this, and then now we're going to use that folded edge to tuck behind and inside, making a mountain fold. So this is what you should have like this. So you're tucking it behind and then flatten it with your creasing tool. Let's turn it over and do the same thing for the other side. So let's turn it over. We're going to take this point. Again, you want it to start at this corner here, and we want to go past this edge here just a little bit. Hold that in place. Take your creasing tool, reinforce, unfold, and then make a mountain fold by tucking it behind that flap like this, and then following with your creasing tool like this. Let's turn it back over to this side, and the next step is to work down here on these flaps. Let's take the top flap and we're going to bring this point up to meet this edge. It's going to start at this corner, so we want to take this and bring it up till it meets the top edge like this, and then make your crease. Let's follow with a creasing tool. And then we're going to take this top and fold it back down. And it will, I would say it's about right about here. It's about a third of the way, I guess, over here. this point, maybe just a shy of a third. So that gives you an idea. So it should look like this. Let's do the same thing for the other side. Since we have it already done on the first side, it's a matter of taking this and matching what you have on the other side. So let's go ahead and bring this point. It should touch to the top, and it should line up with this point here. And then those edges should match here. And let's follow with our creasing tool. And then when we bring this back, we just match what we have on the other side by bringing that down like this. And then let's go ahead and follow with the creasing tool. Now let's go ahead and turn him back over. We want to go ahead and narrow the back side here. And we want to create a vertical fold that goes from this edge to this edge here. So let's take all flaps and fold it over. And you want to have the top edges line up here. That'll help you. And then it should come straight down and meet that point here. Let's follow with our creasing tool, because what we're going to do is unfold, and we're going to tuck in all the layers inside. So you want to open it up from the bottom, and then you could take this whole flap and follow along your crease, fold it in, making a valley fold, and then when you close it, you have this. And let's reinforce with creasing tool. So there's one more step. We want to take this corner out and soften it. So let's take this point and fold it in just a little bit to make a little triangle. And let's follow with our creasing tool here. Unfold it, and then again, we're going to tuck this inside. So let's open it up from the bottom. Let's push this point in, and then using that triangle fold that we did, I'm just going to pinch it, and so then now we successfully tucked it inside those layers like this. So now what we're going to do is work on the antlers. Let's take this top antler, and we want to make a valley fold that goes from this point to this point where this part meets the body, where that turn is. So let's take this and fold this down like that. Turn it over, fold that guy down. Again, it is where this point is, and it's right at the start here. It should match what you have on the other side, which is great. And then when we turn it back over, let's use our creasing tool on one side. We want to open the antlers now to make a T to the body like this. And then it suggests to curl the ends of the antlers to give it some style. Like that. So now that we have the horns, the antlers nice and shaped, we want to do one more thing, and that is to shape the body of the moose. So let's go ahead and slide your finger inside the two layers here, and then hold it, kind of pinch it. And then with your other hand, you're just going to push right down the middle, right from this back side in here. See the profile? We're just pushing it down, and then you just kind of pinch the edges lightly on either side, and then that will hold the shape. You can kind of use your finger underneath to kind of support as you fold it, so that the idea is that it kind of comes down as a shape like this. I noticed that the layers may come apart, so you can use a little bit of glue in there to keep it down, or just go ahead and try to fold the layers so that they stay down like this. And that is your moose, and he stands very nicely. He's got a lot of personality, I think. And it's just a really terrific model. So I hope you enjoyed this wonderful moose by Fumiaki Kawahata. For more great videos, check out our YouTube channel, Paper Tree SF. Thanks for joining me, and happy folding.